begin with, but one of them gets sick and needs nursing care. And the well parents stay in the apartment. What's the extra charge for the nursing care? If one parent passes away while they're in the nursing care, does the surviving parent have to move into a smaller apartment? How does that work? How much time do they have to make a decision? So you do have 30 days to get stuff moved out. If the parent has to move, how does that work? Is it dependent on if they have an apartment available? If one of your parents has to be moved into skilled nursing care, will the care be provided within the community, or will they have to be transferred outside to another facility? For example, if the place you're looking at only has 20 beds in skilled nursing, but they have 25 potential patients who need care, where do those 5 patients get taken to? And what are the credentials of the facility that they have to go to if it's not going to be the place you're considering? There's big things like that you don't really think about, and you want to make sure that the facility that they may be transferred to is also capable of handling the care that they will need. And you also want to ask how often the prices are increased. And is there a refund policy? What if, like I said, the parents stay 3-6 months, something like that? Do they get any of the money back that they've had to put down? Is it 30 days, 90 days, whatever? You want to find that out too. And that should be in writing in the information that the community gives you. Another thing I like to tell people is move in to move up. And I tell parents that when a community calls you to say they have an apartment available that might not fit their immediate needs, I strongly urge them to take it, because when a unit becomes available, many communities give preference to the residents already in the building. So if you're on that list, you're more likely to get the apartment you want than somebody who doesn't want to move out of their home yet. So I have had people who have moved into small spaces in the community because that's where they want it to be. And then they get placed on the list and they can move up easier and faster. It's like going to the head of the line instead of having to wait. And it makes a big difference. And then you want to talk to the people about activities. Senior communities offer lots of enrichment-oriented programs from basic to extensive. Will your parents want to customize their experience? Perhaps they want an exercise room or an indoor swimming pool year-round. Being able to stay active is important at any age, but especially when your parents get older. Many communities partner with cultural or educational groups to expand and enrich your parents' lifestyle. And what kinds of special events are provided? Do they have dances, birthday dinners, holiday meals, guest lecturers, films? So much more is available to enrich their lives, and those things can be brought to the community and enjoyed right there. They don't have to necessarily get on a bus. Another important thing to look into is the financial stability of the community. The residents can appear nice looking at first sight, but what you see is not always what you get. You want to find out how many years the community has been in business and whether or not they'll share their financial information. What's their track record? What plans do they have for growth? Do they plan to expand to make room for more baby boomers who are aging, more active adults who are going to get older and need long-term care? And that's also something you want to think about. Another thing you want to talk to is, what do the residents think about the community? Are they happy? Well, keep in mind that some residents will complain or gripe regardless of how nice a place is. That's just what they do. So if you're invited to tour apartments and have lunch, that's a good thing. The residents who may be on hand to answer questions are most likely handpicked by staff to answer positively. And that's okay, but you want to try to ask them off-the-cuff questions that may trigger a non-rehearsed response. So if you can't visit the apartments or tour the facility, you should leave. You don't need any more problems beyond what you're dealing with. Why don't they want to show you what their apartment would look like? Ask them about the meals, whether dietary restrictions can be accommodated easily. Is there an appeals process for dissatisfied residents? Are there some senior residents who bully other residents? If so, what provisions do staff make to remedy that situation? What are the reasons a resident would be asked to leave? That's important. And who makes that decision? How is that determined? That's important. I've had people in that situation where they just complain so miserably that the staff just said, this is not the place for you. You have to leave. And it makes it very stressful for you if you're living in another area, even if you're living close by. You have to find another place quickly. So then you want to also find out about meals. Now, they'll offer you lunch or say whatever, and they'll talk about their chef is wonderful and blah, blah, blah. But if your parents don't like the food, then they're not going to eat, and that's not good. So you want to make sure you ask questions about the meals and how much flexibility will your parents have in preparing their own meals. Are they required to take certain meals downstairs in the dining room? Are they required to dress for dinner and eat at certain times, or can they choose the time to eat and where they want to eat? Are the meals varied and interesting? Can meals be eaten in the apartment? Are there snacks available? And if so, what kind? Having one kind of snack that's high in fat and calories may not be good. So you want to find out what can they bring to their apartment and what is available on site. Another thing to count on is getting a referral from other friends of your parents, the neighbors. They may have already moved into a place nearby, and because they don't want to take care of the yard or maintain the house anymore. So they will be encouraging to your parents to move in there as well. And they won't be afraid to give the lowdown on what it's like to live there. The last thing to really consider is, can you really see your parents living in this community? Will they be happy to call this place their new home? Granted, no community is a one-size-fits-all, but you know your parents. Ask them if they think they'll like it here. And remember, they might resist because they're attached to the family home. They're giving up their memories of living there and raising you all and raising a family, and it's hard. So you just need to be patient. This may not happen all at one sitting, so you're going to have to plan on several conversations. So let's say that everything turned out perfect and you found the perfect place for your parents. They've made a deposit. They're waiting for the call to move in. Yep, that's true. Many of the nicer places providing quality care have wait lists. Now comes the challenge. You have to help them sort through the years of possessions and furniture to decide what to take, what to sell, what to give away. If your parents are like many I've worked with, they've accumulated a lot of stuff over the years. And the emotional aspect of sorting through these treasures is challenging. They're on a deadline, and you must keep them moving along. If you don't have the time to help them, then hire a company that specializes in sorting through and decluttering. That can be a lifesaver for you and your parents, because they'll keep things moving along at a comfortable pace. And before they begin, make sure your parents have set aside important documents to take with them. And that would include, but not limit to, their wills or the trust, advanced medical directives, power of attorney, insurance policy, computer passwords, the Medicare information, and more. And I've done podcasts on this. So it's good to review that and make sure that you know and they know where those documents are, because the community, in all likelihood, will request being able to see some of those documents. And it really helps to get a floor plan of their apartment ahead of time and start placing their furniture on the floor plan that they're going to have to take. Obviously the bed, the nightstands, the end tables, things like that, the sofa. It's a good idea to have them move into their new place before the realtor sells the home. In all likelihood, the interior will need at least a fresh coat of paint and pulling the carpet or installing new if there's no hardwood underneath. It really depends on the market at the time it's sold, as well as the location and the inventory. And you can contact me about how to do that. I've worked with seniors and adult children for over 20 years, helping them get through this process. And I've had to do it myself firsthand, so I know how much stress you're going to be going through. And if there's anything I can do to help you, that's great. And you can contact me at moveorimprovewithdebbie@gmail.com. And or you can visit my website, www.boomerhousingoptions.com, and listen to some of my other podcasts where I talk about these issues. It will make a big difference. I know you can do it, but it does help to be prepared. And you never know when something might happen and it requires you to step in and help. So the more interaction you can have with your parents, the better it will be. So thanks for joining me, and let me know if you have any other questions. I look forward to hearing from you.